So we got San Francisco Bay Area housing market article. Um, let's look at it. They say San Francisco Bay Area housing market crashes, prices plunged 35% from crazy peak. Let's see. That's the graph. It rose from 2015 all the way to 2022. Then 2022 it started dropping back down to almost 20. We're not even back down to 2020 levels yet. We're 2019 levels, 2017 levels. But yeah, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Let's look at the comments. So the graphs, I mean, was pretty much the whole article broken down with the graphs, numbers. Naked guys with Hummers are bad for business. I don't even know what that means. Net worth of corrupt politicians. Interesting. 2 million people love Cali. Uh, he said traffic is still shit. Damn. What, that 800 square foot fixer upper isn't worth almost a mil? Let's bring some hobo to defecate in the street 30 days in a row. Prices will come down. Some people want to remain fools only because the truth requires actual change. Interesting. He told him to get out summer 2021 in Walnut Creek. Mm, 75% wipe due to foreclosures of large real estate portfolios. Interesting. FJB, fuck Joe Biden, that's what I mean. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. California destroyed the Idaho market. Ghost towns are going to make coming population is declining. How about the feces? Sidewalk shit, the San Francisco tree. But it's interesting how San Francisco, they have the major football league team and basketball team and baseball team, And I guess since their games are nationally televised, it's all good. But yeah, I've heard of San Francisco being one of the most expensive cities in the country. And when I went there, yeah, I mean, they got the steepest hills, probably maybe in the country, the steepest hills where you got to park your car, turn your wheels a certain way when you park, just so your car don't roll downhill or something. So it was spread to Tahoe and Hawaii, but sure those are next to go. A property I sold in '05 for 160, which is listed at 860, more than double what I'll fetch. What if sellers have their heads up their sleeves? Wow. Nobody can afford the prices, but new construction costs are astronomical. You can't get a new garage for 160. Damn. You can't get a garage for that much? Wow. Only $1 million and someone will put in front of my house too. Sounds like a great deal. Huh. Alright, so we go get to the other article. The core of the economy, the middle class is crumbling. The narratives over hybrid. So they shitting on the middle class, uh, which is pretty much most of the population. The top 10% own the vast majority of income producing assets, stocks, bonds, income real estate, and enterprises. 10% of the U.S. population owns 84% of all stocks held by households. The net result of hyper-globalization and hyper-financialization is crumble of the middle class, which has seen its share of nation's wealth and income eroded for 40-plus years, a trend that accelerated in 20 years, last 20 years. Neo-feudal economies. I gotta look at that word neo-feudal and feudal, just that word too, because I've been hearing that word come up a lot, but never heard anybody say it anywhere. In a video hardly or anything, or even in person. Alright, let's check out the comments. There is no longer a middle class, no upper middle class, no lower middle class, no middle class. Today there are the top, say 10%, maybe even 20%, very generous I'd say, and the rest are debt slaves who think they are middle class, but in reality it's nothing more than a cruel joke and illusion. Those are my thoughts on it. Interesting. Open borders and offshoring your manufacturing have consequences. I mean, letting people in from other countries and offshoring, oh yeah, put in certain jobs in other countries. It's always the lower middle class pushing to poverty first, then the other middle class with credit card and car payment defaults. Interesting. Maybe mortgage payment defaults, and loan defaults in general, I guess. Maybe for houses and cars, etc. Lower middle is now the paycheck to paycheck class, struggling to make ends meet every month. The people who actually produce things need to go on strike. Interesting. Stuck on zero. The people are farmers, builders, truckers. Interesting. The people who actually produce things. Trucker, plant workers, electricians, plumbers, etc. could walk out and the government would collapse and all the billionaires would have their wealth reduced to zero. Interesting. That could almost be achieved by every American withdrawing their stock in bank accounts and buying gold and silver. That would end fight and end the Gilded Age for the WEFers. Interesting. The people who actually produce things need to go on strike. Farmers, builders. But farmers where? Builders where? You mean real estate builders? Or truckers? Okay, it's people who have their CDLs. Plant workers. Electricians. Plumbers. How many electricians are there? How many plumbers are there really? But I guess you could go with the truckers. They could be the leader of this group. Interesting. True, but they are chicken shit. IT workers needed to unionize decades ago before the 99 bug that never materialized. They can't. They are in debt and no savings. As soon as they start working, they lose everything they have. Middle ages, lords and serfs, no middle class in between. Interesting. It's evolving just backwards. The middle class no longer owns a business. Instead, they work for a corporation and own shares of Walmart and Amazon stock on a 401k plan. Eventually, everyone in the working class and middle class will work for either the government or a large corporation closely tied to the government National Socialism, Nazism. Eventually, everyone in the working class and middle class will work for either the government or a large corporation closely tied to it. Interesting. The underclass, the homeless industrial complex, the lower class, the working poor, and the middle class are all being combined into one class of peasants. While the underclass, homeless industrial complex, the lower class, working poor, and the middle class, while empires have always had their rise and fall, just understand where we are in the cycle. I mean, I would say between 10 to 30% of people are better than lower middle class, or even middle class. Upper middle class, it could be 15% in that. Rich, 5%. Wealthy, maybe 1 or 2%. So that's about 20 something percent. 25% at the most, I would say. Combined with those, rich, wealthy, and upper middle class. So empires have always had their rise and fall. The only winning move is not to play long-term savings and physical goals, something they can't touch. You can't have a real revolution without the majority of people in poverty. It has nothing to do with poverty. Americans would just drink more and shoot up before they fight. Homeless lawyers, it ain't all that bad. It ain't all bad. If you can't buy them, your only alternative is to make them fair you interesting. I don't know one plumber that is hurting for work interested, or electricians, or welders, or mechanics. I mean, yeah, you got to be on site to do those things. You got to commute to a certain building for that, for that, and for that. That's based around real estate. That's based around real estate. Mechanics. I haven't even seen a video about welders yet. Mechanics. That's based on, yeah, it could be real estate or vehicles. But you got vehicle shops where, if you ain't the top dog at the shop, then, they could take a lot of your pay, or a lot of your percentage of pay. Alright, that's it. How many times are they going to destroy the middle class? I thought they took care of that during co-interested convict. Most people can't think straight enough to become wealthy. You have to be able to stay on task, understand the finance of investments, persevere. Most people like trading labor for declining wage income just is interesting. Alright, that's it.